Wave of closures in Hunan enterprises leads to mass unemployment. Hospital in Hunan fails to pay salaries, Health Commission says no money. Mysterious deaths of numerous young policemen before and after Keqiang's passing. Keqiang's sudden passing in the debt default era of China's economy. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Wave of closures in Hunan enterprises leads to mass unemployment. In Hunan, logistics operators have revealed a concerning situation where numerous businesses closing down has resulted in a substantial reduction in business activities and a rise in unemployment, particularly in Keqiang County, renowned for its textile industry. Mr. Yang, a logistics operator in Hunan, shared with NTD-TV on the 7th that his company primarily handles the transportation of bulk goods to various enterprises. However, due to the closure of numerous businesses, they are now receiving sporadic orders, leading to a significant downturn in their business operations. Faced with this uncertainty, they had no option but to disband their fleet. According to publicly available data, Nanyang City in Hunan Province is a major center for the textile industry, boasting 1,974 registered textile and clothing enterprises. Among these, the leading cotton textile company, Hunan Keqiang Textile Company, filed for restructuring in July this year due to its inability to repay maturing debts. It's worth noting that this company is publicly listed and state-owned, and it was reported last year that they had delayed salary payments for 7 months. Mr. Yu, a resident of Keqiang County, Hunan, stated, "Keqiang County in Nanyang City is widely known for its textile industry. However, all the textile factories in this area have shut down. Most residents have had to migrate to work in the southern regions, such as Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai. As a result, this small county has seen a significant depopulation. China's Belt and Road Initiative has led to the transfer of both money and resources abroad. Now, residents here are left to fend for themselves." Mr. Yang also revealed that during the 3 years of the pandemic, widespread road closures have severely impacted the logistics industry in China. Those who believed in the Chinese Communist Party's claims and expanded their investments are now burdened with substantial debts. Additionally, Mr. Yang pointed out that mainland Chinese people generally welcome foreign businesses because they have significantly improved local treatment standards. Importantly, foreign companies are known for not delaying wage payments, whereas domestic companies often collude with officials and disregard legal obligations, leading to wage arrears and various other issues. Hospital in Hunan fails to pay salaries, Health Commission says no money. The issue of unpaid wages in Henan continues to persist. In the latest development, over 500 hospital employees at the Maternal and Child Health Hospital in Ruzhou City, Hunan, have not received their wages for over a year, compelling them to protest and demand their overdue salaries. An online video from November 3rd shows that some individuals expressed their frustration by shouting, "We can't sustain our lives." When questioned by the media, the Ruzhou City Health Commission admitted, "We lack the necessary funds, and we're unsure how to resolve this issue." Before November 1st, Ruzhou City Mayor Liu explained that the hospital's business had experienced a sharp decline, leading to a significant drop in income, making it impossible to cover expenses. This situation has sparked discussions among internet users. Mr. Chang, a public servant in a specific city in Hunan, said that fewer people are seeking prenatal checkups during pregnancy, and the main issue is the declining birth rate. Jobs are scarce, and incomes are insufficient. Financially, the government may be hesitant to intervene due to financial constraints. This financial challenge is not limited to the central government but extends to all levels. Mr. Huang Jinqiu, a seasoned media personality in mainland China, revealed that during previous pandemic-related lockdowns, the government tapped into the medical insurance fund. Some well-known hospitals in Hunan informed him that last year, the government couldn't provide the funds they owed for medical insurance. Many smaller hospitals typically don't have a high medication volume, and they rely on patients' medical insurance settlements with the government to generate income. If the government lacks sufficient funds and can't settle these payments promptly, they certainly won't have the means to pay salaries. He also observed that currently, many sectors related to people's livelihoods are grappling with wage delays and layoffs, leading to a loss of confidence among the general public and a prevailing sense of pessimism. According to him, the government's financial difficulties aren't primarily due to reduced tax revenue but rather excessive spending in the past. Following the pandemic, the economy hasn't bounced back, and even foreign trade orders haven't picked up. Foreign capital and enterprises are even pulling back, causing a substantial deficit. Now, concerning some sectors related to people's livelihoods, apart from maternity and child hospitals, it's been reported that civil servants in Guangdong province have experienced pay cuts of around 1/3. If policies remain unchanged and there's no shift towards a focus on reform and opening up, a general sense of pessimism prevails.
Mysterious deaths of numerous young policemen before and after Li Keqiang's passing. After the death of former Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, there has been a noticeable increase in the deaths of many young police officers, raising suspicions. This information was observed and disclosed by a former mainland Chinese media figure, Mr. Zhao Longjian. On November 6, Mr. Zhao shared a message on X platform, revealing that Li Keqiang had a sudden death and was promptly cremated. Zhao's posts also included images of relatively young police officers who had died unexpectedly. He noted that police officers are generally known to have privileges, access to good food, and receive free medical care. So, the question arises as to why these young police officers have been dying one after another. According to him, there are two possible explanations. Firstly, they might have been involved in sensitive cases and, consequently, received the same treatment as Li Keqiang. The second possibility is that they had adverse reactions to a vaccine, leading to their sudden collapse while on duty. Over the past 3 years since the onset of the COVID-19 outbreak, there have been numerous cases of sudden police officer deaths. Recently, as China's new coronavirus situation has worsened, there have been additional instances of a high number of police deaths, especially at a very young age. Official reports typically attribute these deaths to illness. For example, according to reports from state-run media, on January 18, Wu Yang, who was at the Special Patrol Police Detachment in Sichuan, passed away at the age of 42, with the cause cited as illness. On January 9, Xiao Kuei, a 4th-grade police officer stationed at the Laochang Police Station in Xijing, Hunan, died suddenly due to an illness at the age of 37. On January 14, Yi Junlong, a patrol officer at the Luozhai County Public Security Bureau in Liuzhou, Guangxi, passed away during work at the age of 35, and more cases. Amidst the pandemic, the number of police officer deaths within the CCP has been increasing year by year. The Chinese Ministry of Public Security reported on January 10 that in 2022, 487 police officers and auxiliary police personnel had died in the line of duty. In the previous year, 2021, the figure was 392, which means that over the past 2 years, there have been at least 879 individuals who died in the line of duty. In February 2020, a mainland Chinese police self-media outlet called Police Master published an article revealing that during the entire pandemic response operation, a total of 52 government personnel had died, with 17 of them coming from the Public Security Bureau. This category included auxiliary police officers as young as 27 years old, making up 32.7% of the total, which was the highest among all professions. Moreover, the CCP Police Network posted on Weibo that after the pandemic outbreak, within just 11 days, 8 police officers had died due to being infected. Some commentators have raised concerns that the concentrated deaths of police officers could negatively affect the morale of the frontline soldiers. To maintain stability, it is possible that the authorities are only disclosing a portion of the deaths, and the actual number of police officers who have died from infection might be higher. Li Keqiang's sudden passing and the debt default era of China's economy. China is currently going through an unprecedented phase of remarkable instability, encompassing economic, political, and societal factors. Especially after the mysterious death of former Premier Li Keqiang, it appears that significant changes are quietly brewing beneath the surface. A seasoned mainland businessman recently commented that, in his 25 years of involvement, he has never seen China in such a dire state. This sharp contrast to the CCP's rhetoric about the rise of a great nation underscores the reality: China is now a debt-laden nation. Recently, the song "Unfortunately Not You" by the famous singer Fish Liang has become sensitive and banned from being sung in China. In fact, this song does not carry any political significance. However, in a politically sensitive environment, it has been banned from being sung. The lyrics "Unfortunately Not You, Who's With Me Until the End" could be understood as a reference to Li Keqiang's potential to live long enough to witness the downfall of the Xi Jinping regime. Furthermore, as we reported previously, the Chinese authorities may cancel the Lunar New Year's Eve holiday. Lunar New Year's Eve is an important family reunion day that the Chinese people highly value. However, due to the similar pronunciation of Lunar New Year's Eve and eliminate Xi, it may become a superstitious issue, and the authorities might even change the term Lunar New Year's Eve. This matter is reminiscent of the events during the late Qing dynasty when Yuan Shikai banned the Lantern Festival because night had a similar pronunciation to eliminate. The sudden death of Li Keqiang has elicited public condolences and increased suspicions about the ruthless political tactics within the CCP. At this time, discussions on Chinese social media, particularly on Weibo, have heated up regarding the economic difficulties that China is currently facing. After 30 years of real estate development, property developers owe over 30 trillion yuan, homebuyers owe 68 trillion yuan, and local governments nationwide owe over 100 trillion yuan. The four major banks hold a debt of 12.2 trillion yuan, including Bank of China, Agricultural Bank, China Construction Bank, and Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. This matter was analyzed by Mr. Xie Jinhe, the chairman of Wealth magazine in Taiwan. He pointed out that recently, figures such as Su Jiayin from Evergrande, Yang Guiqiang, and Yang Huiyan from Country Garden have all been arrested. However, the massive debts they've left behind have left all parties in a state of helplessness. Over the past 3 decades of real estate development, these magnates in China's real estate industry have amassed vast wealth as their assets surged. Yet, in the end, they've come to realize that their wealth was derived from financial institutions through political influence. Now, as the tide ebbs, they find that no one is wearing pants. Mr. Xia highlighted that, at present, the stock prices of most of China's top 60 real estate companies have plummeted to a mere 5% of their previous high values. Despite the CCP's efforts to salvage the situation, they find themselves at a loss. Ultimately, the stark reality is dawning on everyone. While the CCP emphasizes the rise of the great nation in China, the actual situation reveals the ascent of a debt-laden nation. This poses a severe challenge to the future of the Chinese nation. China's total debt is almost 3 times its GDP. According to the New York Times, researchers at J.P. Morgan Chase estimate that China's total debt has reached 282% of the nation's annual economic output, GDP. This number is significantly higher than the average ratio of 256% in developed economies globally and 257% in the United States. Since the global financial crisis in 2008, China's debt has increased considerably compared to the scale of its economy, creating a complex economic management situation. The primary reason for this is the extensive construction activity within China's real estate sector and significant borrowing by local governments. Similarly, a report by credit rating agency Fitch Ratings estimates that local Chinese government debt has reached around 30% of the country's GDP, while the debt of affiliated financial entities has reached 40% to 50%. However, due to some local governments transferring their debt to financial entities, there may be overlapping calculations. The report reveals that China has provided nearly $1 trillion in loans to approximately 150 developing nations but is unwilling to forgive the substantial debts of countries struggling to balance their books. These debts account for less than 6% of China's GDP. This reluctance is partly because China is also grappling with significant domestic debts, including trillions of dollars in debt held by local governments, financial institutions, and real estate developers in China. The report highlights that China's economic downturn has resulted in an increasing number of local governments and financial entities in China being unable to continue servicing the interest on their debts. This has had a cascading effect on the provision of public services, healthcare, and pensions. Regarding solutions, the report suggests that China's domestic debt problem will remain challenging to address in the short term, as it necessitates a transition from an economy primarily focused on massive construction projects and significant national security spending to one based on consumer expenditure and services. On August 25, Bloomberg reported, citing sources from within China's local government financial system, that China's $900 billion debt problem is deteriorating. The focus of the debt pertains to local government financing vehicles, LGFVs, in China that were established to borrow within their regions. The economic downturn has made it difficult for impoverished areas to achieve self-sufficiency. Expert, China's economy has never been this bad. Recently, on a current affairs program, Mr. James Liao, a Taiwanese businessman who has been doing business in mainland China for 25 years, stated that he has never seen China's economy in such a dire state since he started investing in China. According to him, China's economy is not only in a terrible condition but also faces internal political instability. Officials are too preoccupied with infighting to focus on social governance or the livelihoods of the people. Those who are even slightly sensitive to the situation know that it's time to divest and leave. Regarding the reasons behind China's economic downturn, Mr. James Liao pointed out the connection to U.S. sanctions and the actions of Xi Jinping. He believes that China's growth has not been beneficial for the world because the CCP constantly seeks to dominate the world. This has raised alarms and concerns among many countries, leading to a global trend of reducing reliance on supply chains from China. On one hand, Xi Jinping wants to attract investment, but on the other hand, he introduces contradictory policies, such as the anti-espionage law, that make foreign investors fearful and withdraw. He believes that China, although large, is not strong, and he advises people not to be deceived. China needs Taiwanese entrepreneurs because they generate 45% of China's foreign exchange, but nowadays, many Taiwanese entrepreneurs have left, with most going to Southeast Asia, India, and Mexico. He points out that China's domestic demand is very weak, and the country mainly relies on foreign trade. Therefore, China's economy is gradually declining, especially as the U.S. started its trade war. When he was alive and serving as premier, Keqiang once said that 600 million people in China earn less than 1,000 yuan per month, approximately $137.49. Regarding this issue, Mr. Liao says that the current average income of Chinese people is still decreasing, with many even unemployed due to the large-scale withdrawal trend of foreign entrepreneurs. When people lack money, they hesitate to spend, leading to reduced inflation. However, the government continues to print money, resulting in inflation. The combination of inflation and deflation is sure to lead to a more rapid collapse. This Taiwanese businessman believes that China's economy, which developed over 40 years of hard work, has been destroyed due to the U.S. launching a trade war. Today, China has lost its demographic advantage, with its population growth even turning negative. Facing the trend of international communities limiting trade and the internal political infighting of the CCP, China's economy is plummeting at a more dangerous rate.
Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.